these types of things. How do I manage my health account? How do I manage my nutrition in order to accommodate those changes? And that's what Insight's all about, okay? So it's not like what you're doing today and the focus and intensity in which you're doing it isn't something that needs to be done for the rest of your life. And I want everybody to fully understand that, right? It doesn't need to be done with this degree of attention, but there still needs to be some attention given. There needs to be a middle ground here. And I feel that's where a lot of people fall off. Is, okay, they burn themselves out with the weight loss process, the crash dieting and the extreme behaviors, the exercising 2 hours a day and, following a strict diet. And what happens is they burn themselves out and then they go completely the other way afterwards. Whereas I feel the longevity of this is the ability to find that long-term pace, right? Having different gears for different roads. And if your road is weight loss, then you have to be strict, you have to be consistent, you have to be disciplined. When your road is weight gain, then you still have to be strict and disciplined because the type and quality of weight that you're gaining is important. And that's really in large part determine where you're investing, how you're investing it. So activity becomes really, really important during a weight gain phase because you don't just want to arbitrarily gain fat. You want to be able to place the calories and the nutrients more precisely so that you're gaining you're gaining good weight, okay? When it comes to maintenance, it's just mindfulness. It's being aware of your weight. So if if you've lost from 250 pounds and now you're down to 190 and you feel fantastic, then your job now is to maintain the 190. So if you gain a little weight, then take it off. But it's nice to know what it is that you're doing. It's nice to know, okay, I've gained weight over this holiday because I drank beer and I ate food that I wouldn't normally eat. Now I've got to get to it and I have to lose the weight that I've gained, right? So that I can afford to gain it again at some other point, right? Same as having that bank account, going out and buying yourself something nice. Okay, I bought something nice for myself. My account's lower than my bank account's lower than what I'm comfortable with. So I need to work a little harder to bring that back up to where I'm comfortable so that if something comes up again that I want to buy, I've got the account, I've got the balance in the account in order to afford it, right? Same thing, all right? So I hope that makes sense to everybody. In regards to the Dr. Berg overeating, that's, it's a problem that most of us deal with at some point in time. And a lot of it boils down to the lack of mindfulness, being aware, right? Going too long between meals, eating, large portions of food at one time because of the going in between meals too long, but also to not knowing your balance, not knowing how much you need, right? So whether you're intermittent fasting or you're the type of person that eats all day, grazes all day, at the end of the day, there's a certain caloric requirement. And if we're below the caloric requirement, we'll lose weight. If we're above it, we'll gain weight. So it's important to know that caloric requirement. That's why, you guys, you've got meal plans that give you those details, but also macros and things like this, so that we all should know kind of how much our body needs in order to function optimally, right? Or to support your goals, whether it's weight loss or weight gain, okay? And to understand that is really, really important. And what Dr. Berg talks about is, basically that. It's a lack of mindfulness. It's, gorging yourself after a day of fasting. Now, if the fast is unintentional, you're just too busy to eat, then chances are the eating is going to be unintentional. Whereas the people that I work with fasting, they tend to do it intentionally. So therefore, there's an intentional response, meaning, okay, they have their food that they, no different than someone who eats 3 square meals a day needs a certain amount of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates at the end of the day. The same thing happens with fasting. Is at the end of the day, your body still needs the same amount of food. It's just you're delivering the food in a shorter period, right? As opposed to spreading the food intake out throughout the day. But bottom line, end of day, your body needs your body needs its nutritional requirements met, and whether or not it's dispersed throughout the day or if it's all at the end of the day or at a specific point during the day, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's a lot like when we were in school and we would do exams or tests. Some people do really well cramming the night before, and they tend to retain a crap ton of information, and they ace the test or exam. Some people, they study, gradually throughout, and, say take an hour or so each evening and review the material. So theirs is more, gradually introduce the information, and then they write the exam or test and they ace it. So at the end of the day, it's whether or not you ace or pass the exam or test. It really doesn't matter how you absorb the information, as long as the information gets absorbed, and when test time comes, you're able to perform. And that's really kind of a parallel to what it is we're doing here, right? It's whether or not you pass the test, and the test is for you guys or get your goal. The goal is losing body fat and feeling better. So that's the point, is getting to that stage, in a manageable way. All right, and I don't want to ramble on this, but Dr. Berg talks about it. It's a good quick video. And what this educational component is designed to do is to create awareness, so that you're kind of hopefully identifying your style, so that, again, you're creating that nutritional identity, so that when you have that identity, you're able to maintain it, right? Because it becomes a part of you, right? You've heard me speak on that before. Yeah, it's commitment to something. When you become married, you are married, and the marriage and the relationship can change and modify itself depending on circumstances. You have kids, change careers, change locations, all this stuff. So you modify that relationship to accommodate the changes in life. And this is nutrition. It's a relationship with your body. It's treating your body the way that it deserves to be treated, so that you've got a healthy relationship with it, so that it's there for you and you are there for it. And there's no such thing as an overweight, healthy person, right? Because weight is irrelevant. It's what suits you, right? Having that identity of, I'm overweight. When I go in and I put myself up against the BMI index, my body mass index, I'm overweight. But the thing is I'm at a weight that I'm optimal at. So therefore I'm not overweight. Okay. I'm not fat. I'm not, I don't have excessive weight on my, load bearing on my joints and connective tissue and stuff like that. So that's an indicator to me that my nutrition, my lifestyle is balanced, and it allows me to optimize my performance in the environment. All right. So anyway, I know it's a little longer one today, but those are two rather broad subjects that I've wanted to talk to you guys about. All right. Nutritional identity is a big one. All right. You need to discover that. You can't be told what that is. That's something that you need to discover along the process. And that's, more in line with the first, the message from this morning, right? Is the process of losing, or the process to getting to a goal, whether it's losing or gaining weight or dealing with blood pressure, blood glucose, whatever it may be. It's the process that gets you there, that enables you to stay there. So it's not about doing things and committing to weighing and measuring your food at, for the rest of your life. Because that's rather intense, and that can get you to any goal, whether it's gaining or losing weight or whatever. But it's finding ways of, it's understanding the process so that you can lighten that workload when it comes to maintenance, right? You may work really, really, really hard to get a job, right? This position that you've wanted for. Like for me, it was a firefighter. I worked for years and trained and did everything that I needed to do in order to become a firefighter, even a nutritionist, all the certifications and things that I needed to do. But once I became those things, the work changed. If I spent all of my time getting certifications and all my time training, then I wouldn't be able to do the job. I wouldn't have time to do the job. I would have burnt myself out. So there's different stages. When I became a firefighter, then I started to put into practice the things that I was trained for. When I became a nutritionist, I started to put into practice the things that I was trained for. So this is it. You getting to your goal is simply just the training, right? Once you get to your goal, then it's putting into practice every day the things that you learned along that way, right? Along the way. And then being able to put those things into practice. And one of the practices is awareness, right? Knowing when, okay, I'm getting on the scale multiple times during the week. My weight is going in a direction that I don't want it to go. What do I do to fix this? What do I do to balance this out? What do I do to rectify this? And that's where this information is going to come in handy, right? That's where insight is really changing the landscape when it comes to diets and programs. This is an educational program that teaches you how to balance your nutrition and lifestyle so that you're able to make better decisions for the rest of your life, be more aware, and be able to manage your health. Thanks.